Broadcasting from London, Ontario, Canada to the rest of the world, it's Ask the Top.
Thank you very much for tuning in to this special edition of Ask the Top. As always, I greatly appreciate your ongoing support, and this episode is special because we are previewing WrestleMania weekend. It is the Super Bowl for wrestling fans, and not only do we have WrestleMania 34, but also the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony, NXT TakeOver Nolans, that's how they say it down there, and of course, WrestleMania 34 itself. So this episode will serve as a full preview, and I'll mix in my predictions. I'm sipping on a delicious craft beer, courtesy of Anderson Craft Ales, located here in London, Ontario, Canada. It's a cream ale. I believe it's the best beer they have on tap. It's on Elias Street, so who wants to walk to Elias Street to sip on one of these? So if you are in the area, I highly recommend that you stop by their brewery, stay for some board games, drink a few beers, have a good time. New episodes of Ask the Top can be found on YouTube. Subscribe to me on there if you will. Chris Toplack, ChrisToplack.com, TWM.news, an amazing partner, and TheReactionRoom.com. I'm also on iTunes and podcast apps such as Overcast. If you want to follow me on social media, be part of the conversation, Ask the Top is my Facebook fan page, at Chris Toplack on Twitter, where I'm going to be very active all weekend. So, also, if you are in Nolans this weekend, tweet me your pics. I will retweet them to the masses, to the over 2,000 followers, which hopefully will increase over the next couple of years, and get it out there. So please tweet me with your feedback, your observations, and your photos as well. Chris Toplack on Instagram and Chris Toplack on Google+. No questions on this episode. We get into the nitty-gritty, a full preview of WrestleMania weekend along with my predictions.
Predictions.
WrestleMania weekend is aired exclusively on the WWE Network, and I promise you I'm not getting paid to say this, but if you do sign up today for a free 30-day trial, you will be able to watch WrestleMania for free. You have nothing to lose. The 2018 WWE Hall of Fame ceremony takes place this coming Friday, April the 6th, from the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. 7 p.m. is the red carpet show, and 8 p.m. is the main attraction. The ceremony itself, let's run down those who are being inducted along with their inductors. Not all of them have been announced as of yet. You have Mark Henry finally entering the Hall of Pain. The question, will he be wearing his salmon jacket? He will be inducted by The Big Show, close personal friend. Kid Rock takes his place in the celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame, his inductor to be announced. I've heard some rumblings it might be the Texas Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'd be okay with that. Hillbilly Jim, a memorable character from the 80s, will be inducted by his friend Jimmy Hart. His number one choice was Hulk Hogan. The WWE balked at this. Perhaps they're not ready, or they could be saving Hulk Hogan for WrestleMania or beyond. You never know. Jarius J.J. Robertson will receive the Warrior Award. His inductor also to be announced. Double J, Jeff Jarrett, the man who is responsible for launching many careers, at least giving them the platform to have individuals see them, such as Bobby Roode, Eric Young, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, just to name a few, will be inducted by his friend, the Road Dogg, a.k.a. the Roadie. Yes, it was the Roadie that sang With My Baby Tonight. Remember that storyline? It was actually on Full Metal, the album released in 1996. I still own it. The album was stacked. You had Bret Hart's theme song on there, Razor Ramon, and of course, that gem, With My Baby Tonight. Looking forward to that speech. I think it's going to be highly emotional. Ivory takes her place in the Hall of Fame. I'm looking forward to that speech. She was one of the original members on Glow, which you can actually catch on Netflix. So she has a long tenured career in professional wrestling, inducted by Molly Holly, who has to take her rightful place in the Hall of Fame at some point in the near future. The Dudley Boys, arguably the most decorated tag team in professional wrestling history. That's Bubba Ray and Devon, for the record, being inducted by their rivals and friends, Edge and Christian. The only missing element is the Hardys. They should be involved. They'll definitely get a special shout out, but they should be on the stage as well. And you have Goldberg headlining the 2018 card, being inducted by Paul Heyman, the man with the gift to gab. So I did this last year. I'll bring it up again. Speech of the night from an inductor. It has to be Paul Heyman. Putting all my money on that. Speech of the night from a nominee, I'm actually going to lean towards the Dudley Boys. The reason why is because Bubba in particular is a great storyteller, very compelling, honest, funny. I mean, they've been on the road for almost a couple decades. So they're going to have a lot to share, and I believe that's going to be generating quite a bit of laughter. From the Hall of Fame ceremony to NXT TakeOver New Orleans, taking place this coming Saturday, April the 7th, also from the Smoothie King Center. 7 p.m. is when you can catch the kickoff show, 8 p.m. for the main card. 5 matches announced. I'm so excited for this. It's a show stealer. NXT TakeOver is arguably the highlight of WrestleMania weekend. I'll be honest. I'm looking forward to this card just as much, if not more, than WrestleMania 34. For the NXT Tag Team Championships, it is the Undisputed Era. They are the champions, defending their titles against the Odd Couple, Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong, and the Authors of Pain. Now, this marks the very first time the Dusty Rhodes Classic involved a championship match. And there are really 2 important points that led us up to this match. In early March, it was disclosed that Bobby Fish injured his knee and required surgery. Adam Cole will be stepping in to fill his spot. More on him in just a bit. Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong were scheduled to face the Authors of Pain on Wednesday. Spoiler if you haven't seen it, because this is Wednesday. One of them was supposed to be the winners, scheduled to challenge the Undisputed Era. Obviously, things did not go according to plan, as the Undisputed Era injected themselves into the match with William Regal saying, you know what, let's make it a triple threat tag team match. Nevertheless, they'll find a way. The Undisputed Era will retain their NXT Tag Team Championships. Who will be the newly crowned NXT North American Champion? We have some big contenders here. 6 of them, in fact. EC3 versus Ricochet versus Lars Sullivan versus Adam Cole, baby. Killian Dane and the Velveteen Dream. This match, to me, feels like a platform for either EC3 or Ricochet to make an immediate impact in NXT. By process of elimination, Lars Sullivan has just returned. He doesn't seem ready. Killian Dane requires more exposure. Adam Cole will be filling in for Bobby Fish to defend the Tag Team Championships. Can't imagine they're going to put 2 titles on him, but stranger things have happened. The Velveteen Dream continues to strengthen his character. Just about there, not quite yet. That leaves EC3 and Ricochet, who have both generated a fair bit of buzz outside of the WWE. Given his natural ability to showcase his full-blown arrogance, I imagine this championship would allow EC3 to dial that up to about 11, maybe 12. So my prediction is EC3 becomes the inaugural NXT North American Champion. That will be a sight to see. For the NXT Women's Championship, it is the champion, Ember Moon, defending against Shayna Baszler. This feud started after Shayna took out Kairi Sane and forced Ember to defend her championship. So the first match took place at NXT TakeOver Philadelphia, where Ember Moon just barely emerged victorious. Now, with Ember rumored to move up to the main roster, Shayna cannot afford to lose another big match on a big stage, as it would be a credibility killer. I don't think she's ready, but Shayna will become the new NXT Women's Champion. Ooh, this match. We've waited a long time for it. I believe this match will exceed our expectations. It is an unsanctioned match between Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. The only rules, there are no rules. I feel like that's something Vince McMahon would say. But if Johnny Gargano loses, he must leave NXT for good. He was reinstated after showing up at Full Sail University to attack Tommaso Ciampa on several occasions. But now Ciampa must put him away for good. At one point over a year ago, DIY was arguably the best tag team on the planet. They displayed a great deal of heart coupled with their undeniable chemistry. Not long after that, they lost the tag team championships and fell short on regaining them. Then the team imploded. Too much of a good thing, I suppose. Ciampa famously turned on Gargano by throwing him into the LED screen to conclude NXT TakeOver Chicago back in May. Instead of being able to carry on this personal feud, though, Ciampa was forced to heel after rupturing his ACL. Some would feel that killed all momentum, but in fact, it was the opposite. During this period, Gargano went on an embarrassing losing streak only to turn it around and emerge as a title contender. In fact, while he did come up short against Almas in what was known as potentially a Match of the Year candidate for 2018 already, Gargano was once again attacked by Ciampa at NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. Weeks following that match, Ciampa interfered to cost Gargano his final opportunity at the NXT Championship and thus effectively costing Johnny Wrestling his job. Gargano did not go away quietly as he continuously showed up at Full Sail to confront Ciampa. And suddenly we find ourselves in an unsanctioned match where Tommaso Ciampa has the opportunity to put him away for good. So this feud has honestly been the most compelling story over the past 12 months. I don't see any other feud rivaling this. Not even close. So what happens next? It's the big question. It's been heavily reported and rumored that Gargano will be promoted to either Raw or SmackDown. While I would, complete the Johnny Gargano story in NXT by having him win the NXT Championship, it seems like a very unlikely scenario. So, Tommaso Ciampa wins, and Gargano leaves NXT forever. For the NXT Championship, it's Andrade Cien Almas, who's the champion defending against Aleister Black. Ever since Zelina Vega joined his side, Almas has been virtually unbeatable. While many predicted that his title reign would be forgettable, it has in fact been the opposite. Meanwhile, Aleister Black has always been the chosen one in the eyes of the fans and is arguably the most popular wrestler in NXT, not named Johnny Gargano. 8 months ago, this wouldn't even be a close contest. But with Almas becoming arguably the most improved wrestler over that same time period, the result is much less predictable. That being said, I suspect Almas will soon be joining either Raw or SmackDown, with Black continuing to be the face of NXT. My prediction is that Aleister Black becomes the new NXT champion. My match of the night, Gargano versus Ciampa. My surprise, War Machine debuts. Whether it's with that name or with another, I believe we're going to see them during the Tag Team Championship match. And now the main attraction. WrestleMania 34 takes place this coming Sunday, April the 8th from the Superdome. No, not the Silverdome, Hulk Hogan. Home of WrestleMania 30. And that was quite the memorable event. From Daniel Bryan emerging as the undisputed WWE Champion to The Undertaker having his streak ended by the hands of Brock Lesnar. There was a lot to discuss, and hopefully the same will apply to WrestleMania 34. The kickoff show begins at 5 p.m. in the East. 7 p.m. in the East until midnight is the main card. Put on a pot of coffee. Cup of coffee in the big time. Oh, yeah. Because you have 7 hours worth. Yikes. Of wrestling to get through. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but is it too much of a good thing? That's 14 potential matches. Gonna have to keep your eyes peeled, especially for this first one. It's on the kickoff show. The tournament final for the vacant WWE Cruiserweight Championship, it is Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali. Now, these two are very comparable in terms of their size, ring style, and experience, but Alexander has a definite edge and experience on a bigger stage as he was a fixture in ROH for several years. While my gut tells me Alexander is more ready to be champion, those Mustafa Ali vignettes lead me to believe that actually my gut instinct might be wrong. Mustafa Ali to become the WWE Cruiserweight champion. That's my prediction, and I'm sticking to it. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I'm not saying it's going to be taking place on the pre-show, but it looks like as of now it will. There have been 14 names confirmed as of April the 4th. Let's go with who's appearing from Raw. You have Matt Hardy, Goldust, Heath Slater, Rhino, Dash Wilder, Scott Dawson from SmackDown. You have Mojo Rawley, Ty Dillinger, Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, Fandango, Tyler Breeze, Zack Ryder, and Primo Clone. No Epico. Believe he might be injured. So who's going to take it? I'm saying Dolph Ziggler. And it's a damn shame he's not going to have a singles match at WrestleMania. He has more than earned it. I don't believe he deserves to be relegated to the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Same with Matt Hardy as well, who is a great character at the moment. For the Women's Battle Royal, formerly known as the Fabulous Moolah Women's Battle Royal, not anymore, not after that controversy. Here are the names who are entered there. There's about 13 in total. We don't know who from NXT. You might have a few as well, too. But from Raw, you have Bayley, the Boss, Sasha Banks. It's boss time, as Michael Cole always says. Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville from Absolution, and Mickie James from SmackDown. Many more competitors. You have Liv Morgan, Naomi, Natalya, Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, Becky Lynch, Lana, and Carmella. Who wins? I believe it's going to either be Becky Lynch or Sasha Banks. If I had to choose one or the other, I'll say Becky Lynch, severely undervalued and deserving of a world title push at the moment. That's just me. The Raw Women's Championship. Why am I diving into that? Because I heard rumors that it might be pretty low on the card. It is the champion, Alexa Bliss, defending against Nia Jax. These two best friends have taken a turn for the worst, especially when Alexa Bliss was caught cutting her down backstage in a segment with Mickie James. They left the microphones on, and apparently the camera's on too. Ever since then, Nia Jax has set her sights on revenge, and the Raw Women's Champion is desperately seeking a way out. So despite outside assistance from Mickie James, it simply won't be enough to stop Nia Jax. She's not like most girls after all. My prediction is that Nia Jax becomes the new Raw Women's Champion. Who is going to dethrone her? She's vicious. For the United States Championship, it is the champion Randy Orton defending his crown against the glorious one, Bobby Roode, Jinder Mahal, and Rusev. This was originally a triple threat match until Rusev was added as the fourth man at the 11th hour. WrestleMania is about feel-good moments, and I suspect April 8th will be celebrated as Rusev Day. At least I hope so. Rusev is my prediction to be your new United States Champion. Ooh, that'll be nice. For the Raw Tag Team Championships, it is The Bar versus Braun Strowman and an unnamed partner. Who could it be? I had some people suggesting it might be Sting. Not going to happen. I don't even know where those rumors came from. This match, much like the majority featured on the card, came together just mere weeks ago. No build. With few teams left to challenge The Bar, the WWE decided to inject the monster among men into the title picture as he won the Battle Royal on Raw, and that was to earn this opportunity. That was by himself. And just one catch here. He has an unnamed partner that is required to join him. So here are the rumored names to fill that spot. Samoa Joe. He's been out of action for a while. What about Dean Ambrose? Is he ready? You have Elias, Rey Mysterio, and Bray Wyatt. In fact, there's a photo of Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt together on a plane. But I do believe it's going to be Rey Mysterio Jr. as he teams with Braun, and they win the Tag Team Championships on Raw. Why? Because they'll play the whole big and small ratio aspect. That's what I believe. SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the Usos, the champions, finally not relegated to being, not even featured on a card or the pre-show for that matter, versus the New Day versus the Bludgeon Brothers. So first and foremost, it's great to see all three teams featured on the main card. They deserve it, especially the Usos and the New Day. And the Usos, especially, I got to focus on them because they've been undoubtedly the best team on the planet over the past year. So my prediction, the Usos retain their SmackDown Tag Team Championships. I actually changed this next prediction at the last minute. For the Intercontinental Championship, The Miz, who's the champion defending against Seth Rollins, the Architect, Mr. Burn It Down versus the Demon King, the leader of the Balor Club, Finn Balor. Originally, it appeared as though Braun Strowman was scheduled to challenge The Miz. Those obviously went to the wayside. He's moved on to other championship pursuits. Seth Rollins and Finn Balor have been on an absolute tear, and this match should be a contender for match of the night. Given the mainstream coverage for the birth of his new child, I'm going with The Miz. It's my prediction to retain his Intercontinental Championship. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. Remember, if Owens and Zayn lose, they must leave SmackDown forever. After months of Shane McMahon attempting to exact his revenge on Owens and Zayn, Bryan really kind of came to their aid. So, unfortunately, the Canadian duo took out their hatred on Shane. They went a little too far. After a brutal beatdown, Daniel Bryan expressed his disappointment, only to find himself in a similar situation. Pop a powerbomb against the side of the ring. With Daniel Bryan being medically cleared to compete, it simply made sense that he completes this storyline before moving on to another big feud. Perhaps most importantly, Daniel Bryan returns to the home of his crowning achievement at WrestleMania 30. Do you really think the WWE will throw it away only to see him lose? I don't believe so. My prediction is that Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon emerge victorious, and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens must leave SmackDown forever. For the SmackDown Women's Championship, the champion Charlotte Flair taking on the Empress of Tomorrow, the undefeated Asuka. When the Empress of Tomorrow asks, who's ready for Asuka, there's really only one name that comes to mind. In the eyes of many fans and journalists, this is arguably the biggest and most important match in women's history. In fact, it could easily co-headline the card. In fact, it might. Basically, what I'm running down here is not an official match listing. We don't know for sure. It could mix it up at the last minute. Asuka has been unbeatable over the past 2 years, and Charlotte Flair has already cemented herself as the greatest female performer of this generation. Many believe that Asuka and Ronda Rousey will inevitably clash at WrestleMania 35. But that begs the question, who wins this match? Asuka wins, and then, it's not quite over, defeats Carmella after a failed Money in the Bank cash-in. It's going to happen. So after all those months of Carmella holding on to that Money in the Bank briefcase and contract so closely, it's going to slip away very quickly. It could even be one swift kick to the head that ends it all. I put a question mark beside this. The Undertaker versus John Cena. That's why I set off the hop 14 potential matches. This is not confirmed. And while this match is 5 years too late, I'm still intrigued by it. On Raw, Cena dropped the dead man walking line. Did you pick up on that one? And while it could be a very good red herring, it plants a seed that the American Badass Taker will be making an appearance. So, if this match actually occurs, it certainly won't be a technical affair. But neither was The Rock and Hogan, and that was a modern-day classic in terms of atmosphere. So, if this does take place, I expect a similar scenario. If Taker has this match, I think it makes sense to have him ride off into the sunset with a victory. My prediction, if this match takes place, is The Undertaker. Now, many others have suggested that, in fact, this will be a year-long build and take place at WrestleMania 35. I can't see them doing that again. It was not really met with acclaim when Cena and The Rock did that for, WrestleMania 28 and then 29, right? I don't see them doing that. A mixed tag team match. Many claim this could actually headline the card. I don't want it to. I feel it doesn't deserve to. Nothing against the competitors. There's two better matches ahead of this one. Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey taking on the Authority, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon. How did we get here? Ronda Rousey feels exploited. Kurt Angle feels disrespected. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon are angered that their plan to control Ronda has been exposed to the masses by Kurt. That's really about it. Oh, and for the purpose of continuity, let's not forget about WrestleMania 31, which saw Rousey emerge from the crowd. The Rock brought her in. She jumped into the ring to confront the Authority. It's the match 3 years in the making. But flying far below the radar is the fact that Kurt Angle makes his WrestleMania return after 12 years. No brainer here. Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey is my prediction. For the Universal Championship match, that's right, it's not going on last. At least I hope it doesn't. Brock Lesnar, the champion, the part-time one at that, taking on Roman Reigns. WrestleMania 31, for the record, remains my favorite since WrestleMania 19. Regardless of Seth Rollins cashing in his Money in the Bank contract and stealing the victory, the main event between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns was both highly competitive and extremely violent. It's realistic. I enjoyed it. These two simply bring out the best in each other, and I fully expect a sequel that is comparable, if not better, than their match 3 years ago. How about those bumps that Brock Lesnar took on Raw? One of the most underappreciated sellers of all time, I should add. When he wants to, he can. With Roman being the poster child of the company and Brock seemingly on the way out, I don't see any other scenario other than the following. Roman Reigns becomes the new Universal Champion, and perhaps Samoa Joe will be the title contender. I sure hope so. Let's hope, I'm crossing my fingers, knocking on wood, doing anything I can, that this match headlines the card simply because it deserves to. For the WWE Championship, AJ Styles, the champion, the phenomenal one, the best wrestler on the planet today, taking on the king of strong style, Shinsuke Nakamura. These two presented us with an epic classic at Wrestle Kingdom 10. If you haven't seen it, check it out, especially prior to this match. The sequel to that match is on an even bigger stage, a more important one too, with Shinsuke Nakamura emerging as the 2018 Royal Rumble winner. It was inevitable that a clash with the phenomenal one would take place at WrestleMania 34. Shortly after debuting in the WWE, AJ Styles has proven to be the best performer on the planet. That said, Nakamura had his number at Wrestle Kingdom 10, and it's likely he will once again have it in a star-making performance for the King of Strong Style. My prediction, Shinsuke Nakamura wins to become the new WWE Champion. Give you a few categories. Match of the night, AJ Styles versus Nakamura. I hope it's nothing less than like a 4.5-star match. Pop of the night, Daniel Bryan. I have goosebumps just thinking about that potential situation when he emerges and you have about 80,000 fans screaming yes, raising their arms and their hands in the air. Man, that's going to be electric. So those are my predictions, and that is a full preview for WrestleMania weekend. I hope you enjoy the format of this program, and I hope you enjoy WrestleMania weekend. Please interact with me on social media. I love the dialogue. I love the conversations. And in fact, again, if you are in New Orleans, tweet me. Send me your photos, your feedback, your observations. I'll retweet them. I'll respond. I want to know what is happening from the ground level. And until the next time we do this, and you can bet when we wrap it up, we'll talk more about WrestleMania. I'll even be jumping on Periscope to perhaps do a live video after WrestleMania, and maybe even before WrestleMania. Happy trails to you until we meet again.